おはようございます。こんにちは. Welcome everybody to the stream. 28th of May today, 2018. 2018年5月28日です。よくぞストリームへ。OK。今日はちょっと風邪ひいたので声は変になるかもしれませんが頑張りましょう. Okay, so the topic of today we're going to be looking at is about how can you improve your Japanese. It's all well and good to study lots of materials and learn all this grammar, but maybe you find when you try and put it into practice, it's not so easy just to read something or to understand what's going on. But I'm going to show you that even if we take a bit of a complex piece of writing, if you just go through it line by line and break it down, and really you have to follow the grammatical rules. This is the biggest mistake I see people make. They have an idea in their head about what the article's about, or what conclusions or what opinions the article has, and then they just read some words and then try and fill in the blanks. It's not a good way to read anything, okay? You have to really read what's written on the page and practice it. You have to practice and practice and practice so that you make these connections in your head without you substituting in your own knowledge. Just try and read the article as it was. So I've got the link to a Google Doc in the YouTube description. I would really recommend that you click on it to follow along with the lesson. So just a quick bit about me. I run these Japanese lessons on YouTube, but I also run private lessons. So if you live in Western Australia, please click on this link here to my Gumtree ad. I can teach anyone. I teach a lot of high school students generally, and that's what this video is kind of aimed at, people who are in year 11 or year 12. But also this video will be good for people who have just maybe started Japanese at university or similar, or people who are just studying, trying to improve their Japanese. But I would say this is definitely an intermediate and above level. But I also teach beginners. I've got quite a few beginners actually who I teach, so I'm teaching them from scratch, and I'm confident I can teach anybody Japanese. It's not as hard as everyone makes it out to be. I'm by no means perfect at Japanese, but I've been able to live and work in Japan for a total of 2 years, and quite often I tricked many Japanese people with my accent and my my ability to speak proper conversational Japanese and polite Japanese. So when these Japanese people, when I mean tricked, I mean they talked to me on the phone and they thought I was a Japanese person, and then they met me in real life and realized I was not. Okay, so that happens quite a lot. A lot of that I would say is because I went on exchange, but I can definitely teach you to speak as good as me. So I've just got some prices here. So I do Google Hangout or Skype lessons for $40 an hour, so it'd be very similar to these YouTube lessons, but it'll be one-on-one, and so you can ask me to do any topic you wish. I also do then $70 for 2 hours on the Skype call, and if you're interested, just please shoot me an email. Otherwise you can contact me through this above link to the Gumtree ad. Okay, so what did we look at last week? So this is definitely a tricky lesson, I think, for some people to do, but very, very important to understand how all this works in Japanese, because I would say these types of grammar kind of form the bedrock of a lot of a Year 12 Japanese exam. So we were looking at differences that suru and naru makes to certain nouns, adjectives, and verbs, particularly when we use this ni particle. So we kind of talked about how you can become good at things, become things. We talk about this a lot with careers, for example. And suru, we were kind of saying, well, this is like when you choose something. We talk about adverbs a lot with this naru as well. So becoming taller, this kind of thing. And probably the most important thing is the verbs part. Alright, I think most people when they're year 12, they'll understand this pretty quickly. Maybe not, you need to practice it a bit more, but the concepts I think people understand. But this koto, yo ni thing, trust me, it takes a bit of practice to get used to, but you want to get good at it because, like I said, this is going to form the bedrock of year 12 Japanese. Okay, and then we also looked at how we can use this with the potential verb to talk about becoming able to do something. Alright, but yeah, that was quite a good lesson, if I do say so myself, and I would really recommend you guys check it out, especially this link to Takehim's website. Okay, so today it will be a bit of a shorter one, because as I mentioned, not feeling super great. But we're going to be looking at a really great resource that I've only actually come across recently, and it's called NHK News Easy, I believe it's called. Just give me one sec. Some issues finding this. I couldn't even find the original articles. I've got screen grabs of them, but I believe it's called NHK. I've got a link to it. Wait. News Web Easy. Okay, NHK News Web Easy. So what is NHK? Well, NHK is an acronym for the state broadcaster in Japan. Okay, government funded. So it stands for Nihon Hoso Kyokai. Oops. Where's this URL? Stuff. Nihon Hoso Kyokai. Okay, so Nihon, obviously. Hoso, this means to broadcast. And Kyokai, this is like a group or an organization or a corporation, this kind of this kind of term. Okay, so NHK though is normally how it's abbreviated to. Okay, and then they have this website. I guess I should provide the link here as well. Okay, to this one. So here's my bias showing. I originally thought that this was just made for non-Japanese speakers so they could practice their Japanese, and then one of my students pointed out, hey, actually it's probably meant for Japanese children or younger Japanese people who can't read so many kanji so easily. And they're probably right, now that I think of it. So I've got a bit of a... I can show you a preview of the website. I would just really recommend you guys go check it out. But where is it? It's not quite displaying properly, but you get the general idea. It's I don't want to zoom out. Yeah, I made some changes to my OBS today, so it's not playing very nicely at the moment. But anyway, that you've got the link in the Google Docs, so you can go look at it yourself. But we're going to be looking at two particular articles. So this first one we'll look at is the camera one. I provided a link to a screen grab I made. Fortunately, I thought it'd be a lot easier to find this article, but I did some very quick Google searches, but it wasn't coming up. But anyway, we've got it here. Okay, so let me actually just change to it so you can see. I'm going to be getting rid of my face cam here just because I want to make sure it's nice and big for everyone to read. Okay. What do we got here? Okay, so we got a picture, doesn't really tell us much. You can see a security camera in operation. And we got the title. Now, we see we got two big blue buttons here, and one of these says, listen to the news. So what I actually do with this is I'll, before I've read the article, I'll click on this and listen to it, and a narrator reads the article probably a bit too slowly for my liking, but definitely I can, that kind of pace is nice, but probably I would say it's a bit too slow if you're trying to practice Year 12 reading. For example, it's way too slow. But if you're in maybe Year 10, Year 11, this is probably a bit more of an appropriate speed for you. And we also have this button that says Kanji no yomikata o tsukeru. Alright, and this verb tsukeru is actually going to come up a fair bit in our this article here. But when we click this button, it puts furigana above the kanji, okay? So as always, I'm going to recommend you turn the furigana off. And only if you get to a word you're really not sure how to read, you can just click it on quickly, see how it's read, and then turn it off again. But always, we want to be really trying to practice our reading as much as possible. Okay, so let's go. What have we got here? So, Tokyo no JR. Alright, so just notice the way I pronounce this word, okay? It's not JR. 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 And here we got a bit of a proper noun, so unless you know this, it might be a bit difficult to read properly. But we got Yamanote-sen. Yamanote-sen. Okay, this is a train line in Japan, in Tokyo, I should say, and it's this big, very famous train line. If you've ever been to Tokyo, you probably remember this one. It's a big circle route. 19日からカメラがついた車両が走る. And we got a date here. I always recommend you guys try and read the date because you want to practice getting good at these dates. So we got 5月18日. 5月18日. And we got it's at 5時 or 17時. Alright, so what's this headline telling us? Okay, it's gonna pretty sums up the article pretty well. But we got Tokyo no JR Yamanote-sen. So JR, Japan Rail, big I believe it's state run. Anyway, it's massive. The bullet train, for example, the Shinkansen runs on this line. But we have JR Yamanote-sen, so the Yamanote line run by JR, and then Tokyo no, so it's the line that is in Tokyo, right? So the JR Yamanote-sen of Tokyo. We've got 19日から, so from the 19th, カメラがついた車両. Alright, so shario, this is probably a new word for a lot of people. This means a train carriage, right? A train car. It's not the train, but train car. And kamera ga tsuita. Well, camera kind of makes sense, but notice kamera. Okay, not camera, kamera. And tsuita. Okay, so this verb is, if I'd always practice trying to work out what's the original form of this verb. So we have, I was wondering if I should get a big blinking cursor somehow. Put that on the to-do list. But anyway, I wonder if I can write on this. Anyway, kamera ga tsuita. Alright, so the original form of this verb, whenever we see an ita, like this, with this plain past form, we know that it comes from ku. So this verb is tsuku. Okay, tsuku. So let's go back to our thing. So these are some of the words we'll have to know. So my keyboard's getting low, just give me 1 second, plug this one in. Alright, okay, so we have tsuku, okay, to be attached. Good kanji to learn, this one by the way. Alright, next. Good. So kamera ga tsuita. Okay, so the cameras have already been attached to the train cars, right? And then ga, so these are the things that are, and what is our verb? Hashiru, running. Okay, so just think about like in English when we say the trains are running, same thing here. Okay, so trains which have cameras attached basically have been put into service, right? They're running from the 19th. Okay, and we saw that this article is from the 18th, so this is we're talking about the future at that time. Okay, so let's see the rest of this article. What have we got here? So first off, we've got this is a hyperlink. Alright, it's not clickable with this document, but so we got JR Higashi Nihon. Alright, Higashi. This is one of our compass directions. It means east. And again, if we're talking about Year 12 exam prep or JLPT prep, even for that matter, you have to know your compass directions. Okay. I'm not sure exactly the best way to do this. I'm guessing it's going to reverse on the camera. Well, you can't see me anyway. But we have Kita for north, Higashi for east, Minami for south, and Nishi for west. Alright, so try and learn these because they're going to come up a lot. And just keep in mind that they have onyomi as well. Okay, we have our Chinese readings. So, for example, North and South Pole, where we're going to be using our onyomis for those. So you need to know both to be able to deal with these words in Japanese. Okay, but why do we have JR Higashi Nihon? Well, it's because JR is, the Japan rail network is massive, so they kind of have split JR into JR Higashi Nihon and JR Nishi Nihon. So west and east JR. So obviously Tokyo, this is going to be dealt with by JR Higashi Nihon. Okay, so let's go. So JR Higashi Nihon は2020年までに山手線の全部の車両にカメラをつける予定です。電車の中でテロや女性の体を触る犯罪などが起こらないようにするためです。Alright, so this is what I always like to do, alright? Just read one little paragraph and don't really worry about understanding it as you read it, okay? Now, if you could read it as well as I just did, you're probably not going to have an issue with understanding this, okay? But don't feel weird or strange if you find that you read a whole bunch of Japanese and then you don't understand it, okay? You feel like you just say all this stuff and then you're like, well, I don't know what I just read, okay? This is very, very common, and it's mainly because, especially I found with the kanji, your brain is really having to concentrate on reading that kanji, and you don't have much brain power left, and I've noticed that your short-term memory is like the first thing that goes when you're having this issue. So this happens to me all the time. When I was working in Japan, I was at a hotel. Somebody would call me up, ask me to do something, they want to make a reservation, whatever. People would call up about all kinds of stuff. And I know that I would perfectly understand what they said on the phone. I'll be, yep, that's cool, yep. And I'll be checking the register. Go, yeah, we got rooms on that day, blah, 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 set you all up. And then they're like, okay, do that for me. I'm like, yep, sure, thanks. Hang up the phone. I'm like, ooh, what did I just promise that I would do? Like, I would just have no recollection at all. Even though in the moment, I perfectly understood what was happening. Just your short-term memory kind of goes when you're having to concentrate so much on speaking in a different language. So I had to, for example, that happened a few times in a row. I thought, okay, this is not this is happening too often for my liking. So I would start to write very rough notes when I was talking to people on the phone, just to jog my memory when I finished talking. Okay. But let's have a look at this instead. Okay. So first of all, our first grammar point is 2020年までに. Now I want you to keep in mind here that までに is different from まで. Okay? まで just means until. までに at the latest by. This is a very important grammatical point that most people I've done this article with so far in my private lessons have missed. Okay? So we could say, for example, 今日のクラスは朝の10時から well, I should probably say it. 今日のクラスは午前10時から11時までです. Alright, so this class is from 10 until 11. That's a perfectly valid usage of まで. But when we're dealing with までに, Martini. I really want my face cam. Just give me 1 sec. I'm gonna add something in real quick. Alright. As long as I keep it at the top, I should be good. Okay, so mareni. But, so if we say, for example, このレポートは明日までに出してください. Alright, 明日までに. So, at the latest by. You know, hand this report in at the latest by tomorrow. 明日までに. Okay, so very important difference to note there. Alright. So 2020年までに. So basically whatever they're going to do it at the latest by 2020. So 山手線の全部の車両に. Okay? So 全部. This word means all or everything. Alright. All or everything. Really important word. Now, if we look at this by kanji, let me just. Now, if we look at this by kanji, we have zen, which means this kanji can actually be read as subete. Subete, not in this context, but subete means all, and bu, this means a part, so it's like all parts, so it's everything. Okay, so let's go where we're up to. So zenbu no shario, that's right. So zenbu no shario ni. And shario is our word for carriage again. So Yamanote no zenbu no shario. So all carriages on the Yamanote line ni kamera o tsukeru yotei desu. Okay, so tsukeru is our verb we saw before, but it's actually the difference between tsukeru and tsuku is transitive, intransitive verb. Now, if that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it too much. But this tsukeru kind of implies human involvement, alright? So someone has attached the camera, whereas tsuku is just kind of saying, you know, there are cameras attached. I know that there has to have been human involvement there, but there's just kind of a slight difference there. I think I eventually will have to do a lesson on intransitive and transitive verbs, because this is a big problem in Year 12 for a lot of people, mainly because they're not aware of even what I'm talking about when I say transitive and transitive verbs. But very quickly, the difference is something like, if I say, you know, I open the door versus the door opens. Alright, so for example, if it's an automatic door, or the wind blows it open, okay? In Japanese, we use two different verbs to describe these two states. Okay, and we have this word here, yotei. Yotei desu. Alright, yotei, super important word for Year 12. I would definitely say you have to know this word. And you have to be able to read it as well, so it's a receptive kanji. And the other word that you need to know it for is yoyaku. Alright, so yoyaku is a reservation at a hotel or something like that, right? So yeah, both of these words are going to come up quite a lot. And yeah, I would really recommend you learn both these words. Yotei. Okay. I know I'm going to regret this, but I just want to do something very quickly here. I don't know if that's going to work, but cool. does it only work on this keyboard? Okay. Sorry, bear with me, guys. I don't like that shortcut at all. Control 1. Alright, cool. Should make it a bit easier. So, yote. Alright, so this word means plans, arrangement, schedule, program. Okay, so there is a plan to attach cameras to all the carriages on the Yamanote line at the latest by 2020. Alright, so densha no naka. Okay, pretty standard usage of our no particle here. So in of, sorry, the middle of the train. Okay, but then whenever we hear X no naka, it's just inside X. Alright, so petto no naka, inside a bottle. Densha no naka, inside a train. Okay, so densha no naka de tero. Alright, now this word, I think a lot of you will have some issues with working out what this means. But tero, this is actually terrorism. Okay, so I noticed this is a big trend in Japanese recently. When you know, Japanese thinks English is super trendy, and they import a lot of English words into their language, even though they've got a perfectly adaptable word in Japanese. But then they don't just take it, because as you may have noticed, these katakana words tend to be really long compared to Japanese words, like terrorism would be really long. So then they just shorten it down to generally the first two katakana. I've noticed lots and lots of words like this. So, right, so we got terrorism on the trains, right? Densha no naka de tero. So not in the stations, but in the train specifically, right? Because maybe actually some of you might be saying, wait a minute, Japanese trains don't have cameras? And I was surprised by this as well, which is why I clicked on the article. And I was told that there's lots of cameras all throughout the train stations, but not so many on the trains. And I think someone said there's no cameras on trains in Japan. Up until recently. Okay, so we got this. Now we got ya. Alright, now ya is our partial list particle. Okay? And this means that we've got a list of things here, and we'll see that it's basically that they don't want these things to happen on the train. So they're not going to list every single thing, and I'm talking about JR, I'm not going to list every single thing that they don't want to happen on the train, but they're just pointing out two things which these cameras are hoping to stop. Okay, so densha no naka de tero. So terrorism that occurs on, so the train. Okay, so for example, this is a really good usage of de, and I would really study this if you don't understand what's going on here. But think of a sentence where we can say, restaurant de gohan o taberu. Restaurant de gohan o taberu. So eat food at the restaurant. Okay, so our de is working as an at here. But here it's like the context in which it occurs. So the terrorism occurs inside the middle of the train. Inside the train, sorry. Okay, now this is a bit of a tricky kanji here. I wouldn't worry about this if you can't quite read this, even if you're at year 12 level. These last two kanjis are a bit hard. But we have josei no karada o sawaru hanzai. Okay, so hanzai. Hanzai. I don't know if that's going to work. Oh, it did. Although it did change my PDF as well, which is not what I wanted. Oh man. Okay, hanzai. Okay, so this means crime or offense. Now some of you might ask, why is it spelt with a C or an S? C is the English and Australian spelling, and S is the American spelling. So, because I'm in Australia, I will be using the C spelling. Alright. Okay, and then we have sawaru. Sawaru. Okay. Alright, now this means to touch or to feel something. touch, or to feel something. Alright, so what do we have? So josei, so female, no karada, so bodies of females. Notice here we got, this is body, alright? We have ninben, we have person, and we have hon. Okay, so karada, alright? So we want to think of Grey's Anatomy. When we think of the body, we think of Grey's Anatomy. So Grey is a person. Okay, so we got our person on the left, and then it's a book, right? Grey's Anatomy. So we have book. This kanji means body. So, 女性の体を触る犯罪. Okay, so basically the offense or crime of touching women's bodies. So we could just kind of say this is sexual assault, I guess. Okay. Then, nado. Nado. Alright, so nado means etc. And we're often going to see nado get used with ya. Because, you know, ya is telling us it's an incomplete list, and nado is saying etc, etc. Alright, so there's more things to this list, other crimes, for example. Okay, and then what are these? What are we even talking about all this for? Well, we got ga okoranai you ni suru tame desu. Now this kanji, maybe some of you are not so familiar with it, but this is the kanji for okiru, which is to wake up. But here we've got okoru. Okoru, here's okoranai because it's a negative, but the verb, the plain form positive, is okoru. And this means to occur or to happen. So, but we have a negative here, right? Okoranai you ni suru tame desu. Right? So tame, this is for the sake or purpose of whatever. We just attach it to our plain form verb. And okoranai you ni suru. Alright, so if we think back to our lesson last week, we can unpick this. But basically, making an effort towards, so you ni suru, and choosing. Alright, so they're choosing to make an effort towards these not happening. So the purpose of these crimes, right, when we talk about not happening, these crimes not happening. Okoranai ni suru tame desu, right? So they're making a positive act, they're putting cameras in order to stop these crimes, okay? It's not saying it will, but okoranai you ni, they're making an effort to, right? This is JR I'm talking about. Okay, now we have kind of a restating of the title here, but kamera ga tsuita Yamanote Sen no atarashii sharyou wa 19日から走る予定です. So basically it's the new carriages on the Yamanote line which already have cameras attached. 19日から走る予定です. They're scheduled to run from the 19th. Okay, so just a total restating of our title. And then next bit, what do we have? So JR Higashi Nihon, so we saw this up here earlier. Wa. Okay, and then from the 17th. So some of you might be confused and go, well, how do I say the 17th? Is it 17 nichi? Is it 17 nichi? Alright, this might cause you guys some problems. So one thing you can always do with this, alright, I don't know why this continually goes into the, I do know why, but I don't know how to get rid of it. So I guess I don't know why. But we can write both, right? Oops. Write both and see which one works better. Okay, let's see when we write both. Both of them come up as possible readings of this kanji. So the other thing we can do is try and Google these and see which one is better. I don't know how this is gonna work at all, actually. Let's go to my browser. Okay. So if we look at some of our results here, I think still can't really tell from these. 17. That's not really going to help us. So the next one is we want to go to our dictionary and see what does this tell us. And look what we got. We can read it as both. Okay, the fun things about Japanese. Now I prefer to say jushichinichi just because I feel like it rolls off the tongue slightly better, but it actually is totally up to you how you want to say this. So JR 東日本は17日、カメラがついた新しい車両を見せました。Alright, so again, pretty feels like kind of the same sentence we've just read like 3 times now. But 18日, alright, so on the 17th. So as for JR, on the 17th, カメラがついた新しい車両. So again, this is pretty much the same thing we just had here. So the new carriages with trains attached. Or 見せました. 見せました. Alright, so what does this mean? 見せました? Well, this is 見せる. Alright, the original form of this verb. And you should be able to get to 見せる, okay? When you if you see something like 見せました, okay? That せ is a bit of a giveaway that this the ました has replaced る, which tells you it's a root verb. Now, if that makes zero sense to you, I would highly recommend you look back through some of my old videos on verbs. So my very first video on verbs, I can't remember what I called the other one, I think it's verbs part 2. But anything where I talk about basics to do with verbs, go back and read through those, and it'll teach you how you can find a verb like miseru. Okay, we can see miseru. And we can work out that this originally was misemashita. Actually, I want to do this one. Misemashita. Okay, but miseru, to show or to display. So JR, right? JR, where is it? JR shows this train with cameras attached to who? Well, we can just kind of guess it's the reporters, okay, who are writing this article. So カメラはドアの上についていて、4つのカメラで1つの車両の中を全部ビデオに撮ることができます。カメラの横にはビデオに撮っていると書いてあります。Alright. So カメラはドアの上についていて。So what's this going on about? Well, カメラは, so as for the camera, ドアの上. ドアの上. So above the door, above of door. Alright. についていて. Alright, now this ついていて, this is just our つく verb that we saw right at the beginning, okay? This いて is the same as how we saw our いた up here. So if that's confusing, you really have to look back at your Tefo form rule and notice that your Tefo form rule and your past form rule for plain verbs is exactly the same. It's just replacing te with ta. Tsuite, tsuita. I'll give you lots of verbs where we can see this working, but we have kaku. Alright, this is to write. What's our Tefo form? Kaite. What's our past form? Kaita. Kaite, kaita. What about any other verb? Hanasu. Hanashite, hanashita. Okay, so the te form and the ta form rule are the same. It's just replacing te with ta. So tsuite, to be attached, and now ite. Now this is causes a lot of issues for people, alright? But when we see this, just remember that when we make our progressive form, okay, which is where we get our te form, and then we add imas or iru to the end of it, just keep in mind that this is, I just realized I probably haven't scrolled this far enough. I can't really do much about that, apart from making my picture smaller. Wish I could scroll further. Oh, anyway, sorry I cut off the last bit. I might just get rid of this. That's what I'll do. There we go. So, actually, let's do this. So tsuiteite, okay, so our progressive form, tsuiteiru or tsuiteimasu, means to be like currently attached, right? It's our current state of being. So all we've done is tsuiteimasu or tsuiteiru, had that iru or imasu at the end there has just been changed to the te form as well. Why? Well, because we want to join it to this next sentence. Okay, so we couldn't say tsuiteiru or tsuiteimasu here because it's not the end of a sentence. So basically the cameras are attached above the door. 4つのカメラで1つの車両の中を Okay, so 4つ. Alright, just notice this is how we read 4つ. So this is our generic counter. So 4つのカメラ. So 4つのカメラで. So by means of 4 cameras. 4つのカメラで by means of 4 cameras. 1つの車両の中. 1つの車両の中. So 車両の中 we saw before is inside the train. 1つの車両の中 inside one train carriage. Okay. Or. Okay, so whatever's going to come after this or, it's acting on this, basically this whole clause here. 全部ビデオに撮ることができます. Okay. Now, 撮ることができます. This verb 撮る. Alright, this is pretty much only ever used with cameras and photos, okay? So we say 写真を撮る video, or ビデオに撮る we can say, for example. Alright, so 撮る means to take, alright, but it means to take a photo, take a video, this kind of thing. Alright, now you don't really have to know this kanji if you're in year 12, but it's worth learning. Alright, 撮る. So, 全部ビデオに撮ることができます. Alright, so this should be pretty straightforward. 撮ることができます. So able to do this verb. Alright, so able to record video. And what type of video? Well, all. So the whole の中を全部. Alright, so all of what happens in the train car can be recorded. 4つのカメラで1つの車両の中を全部. So basically every angle is covered is what they're talking about. Alright, and then what do we have? ビデオの横にはビデオに撮っていると書いてあります. So, カメラの横, okay? So we have 隣, which is next to. Yoko is kind of to the side of. And then we have soba, which is kind of near. Alright, so it doesn't necessarily have to be out to the side, it could be front or behind, but soba is kind of in your general vicinity. Alright, but here we have yoko. Yoko. Alright, so to next to. So, as for to the side of the camera, ビデオに撮っていると書いてあります. Okay, so whenever we see our to like this, it's probably going to be a quote, and here it is a quote. Alright, and what's it? It's not really quoting them, but it's saying 書いてある. Okay, now this is our, I'm not sure I've done a video on this yet, but this is our other states using the te form. So when we have a te form with aru or arimasu to the end here, it's kind of saying something's already been done, alright? Some action has been completed. So this, kaite is to write. Kaite arimasu, basically saying it is written. It's already been written. And bidio ni totteru, so you're being recorded, is written, okay? And if we go right up to the top here and look at our picture, this. If we look at our picture, here we see this is our camera behind our little glass box here. Now we can't really tell, but we can just assume this is door no ue, above the door. And we see this is what it's talking about. To the kamera no yoko ni wa video ni totteiru to kaite arimasu. Alright, so it's worded slightly differently, but we have bohan kamera sadou chu. Okay, so bohan, bo means to prevent. Han is his word we saw before, hanzai no han. So like anti-crime, prevention of crime. Kamera, sadoju, this means during, in operation. In operation. Okay. Okay, last little bit here. So, ビデオを見ることができる人は一部の社員だけです。JR 東日本によると、 ビデオは1週間ぐらい残しておいて、警察に頼まれた場合、見せることもあります。Alright, so this whole paragraph I think is actually quite tricky, but we'll go through it and look at what's going on here. So first of all, it says ビデオを見ることができる人. Alright, so we got a wa here, so we can kind of think this is basically a little clause that we might as well just translate now. So if we take off this hito, ビデオを見ることができる. Again, pretty similar to this last sentence we just saw. But ビデオを見ることができる. So basically able to watch the video. And here we're talking about the footage, right? The recorded footage of inside the train. And hito, alright, so the people who can see this footage, wa, as for them. So as for these people who can see this footage, 一部の社員だけです. Okay, now we did actually see this this kanji before, okay, this ichibu. So we saw before that zenbu, alright, it's the same bu. Just pull this up real quickly. Okay, and when we just search for this kanji, this is our dictionary entry that we get. Okay, so we see higher than a department, this kanji is. A division, bureau, you know, club, part, component, element. Alright, this third one especially is how I think you should think of this kanji. So when we say ichibu, we mean one part. One part. Alright, zenbu, all parts. Ichibu, one part. Alright, and then we have shain. Alright, shain. Now this is just another word for an employee, okay? We got kaisha no sha, and then, you know, kain no in, if you want to think of that word. But in, this just means member. Alright, so shain is a company employee. So ichibu no shain, so basically one part of the employees. Alright, dake desu. So it's kind of saying that only a certain number of employees can watch this recorded footage, okay? Not everyone in JR has access to it. So obviously there's some privacy concerns and all that, so it's people who've been trained and whatever. Alright. Now, JR Higashi Nihon ni yoru to. Now this ni yoru to, this is a set phrase that just means according to. Okay. So according to JR Higashi Nihon, video wa, as to the video, 1週間ぐらい残しておいて. Now this verb 残しておいて, it's again a bit advanced for year 12, but 残す, is just, yeah, leave, remain, see, bequeath, doesn't really mean bequeath in this instance, but to save, to reserve. These are the good translations, I would say, for this kanji. Alright. And again, we're dealing with our transitive. See, verb transitive, intransitive verbs here. Some of you might know nokoru, to remain. Nokorimasu. Also, this kanji is used in zannen, which means regret. But anyway, all those words I'd say are year 12 words. But nokoshite oite. Okay, nokoshite, nokoru, to save, to reserve. I don't think I showed that. Alright, so back to our article. Okay, so video wa, as to the video, 1週間ぐらい, so approximately 1 week. Nokoshite oite, so to save. And then oite, alright, so this is our other part of our other states using the tef form. So we saw one before, kaite arimasu, so it means it's arimasu after a tef form. He's saying something is done in preparation for something else. But when we have, this is actually oku originally, but oite is our tef form of oku. But when we put oku after a tef form like this, it implies, what does it imply? It actually states that you're doing something in preparation for something else. Okay? In preparation for something else. So we'll see what that preparation is for, but basically they're saying they don't delete the footage as soon as they record it. Okay, it's obviously all digital. I would say, I would hope so. So they just keep it on their systems for about a week. And why is this? Well, 警察に頼まれた場合、見せることもあります。Alright, so 警察, this is a word that maybe a lot of you are surprised that you don't know. But 警察, this is the police. The police. Alright, now you can just say ポリス in Japanese if you want, but 警察 is a very common phrase as well, and it's polite as well, so it's good to know. Now these kanji individually are quite advanced, but we have vigilance and we have to observe. I guess this one means. Satsu, yeah, slang word for the police as well. Yeah, guess, presume, judge. Yeah, but we see it in kansatsu, for example, to observe. It's kind of what I think of it as anyway. So keisatsu ni tanomareta bai. Alright, so again, very advanced this particular sentence. But this verb here is tanomu. Tanomu. Alright, and tanomu is to ask or request for something. Yeah, to entrust, to beg, all these words. Okay, to request is really what we're thinking of here. Alright, and then what's actually happened is this is called the passive form of the verb. It's again quite above year 12, but basically tanomu, we change that mu to a ma and then add reta to the end, or reru, I guess I should say. So tanomareru, so basically to be requested, passive form of the verb. So and then the ni says who's kind of performing this passive verb. So it's the police. So when, and then by is like in the situation of, or in the circumstances. So in the situation where JR is requested by the police for the footage, miseru koto mo arimasu, will be able to show it to them. Okay, so this isn't the only reason why they keep the footage. They might want to review it themselves for whatever reason, but they reserve this footage for a few reasons. One of them is if in the case that they get requested by the police, they can show them. Okay, so that's the end of this article. I would say if you're preparing for your Year 12 exams, these are very good articles to have a look at. One second. Very good articles for you to have a look at. And I would say they're very hard. So even if you're a Year 12 student, I would be impressed, to be honest, if you could understand 50 to 70% of this article, and particularly if you can just understand the gist of it. I think that's quite good for Year 12. We're talking about JLPT levels. I would think you'd have to be around JLPT N4, N3 level, I think, to be able to consistently read these types of articles. So that gives you another inkling of whereabouts you would stand. And for example, a lot of it you understand, but perhaps little subtle grammar points go past you, or the kanji you're just not aware of it. But it's good why we have this kanji button. Okay, everyone, I've been trying out a bit of a new format for this lesson, so sorry for the technical issues, but I'm gonna work on my technical skills, so hopefully these next ones will be better. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like, and if you have any questions, leave a comment below. If you please also subscribe to the channel, you will get updates when I go live. I go live every Monday, and I'd be happy to do a video on any topic anybody suggests. Thanks again for watching, and please send me an email if you're interested in lessons. Doesn't matter where in the world you live, we can do these online lessons at a time that's convenient to you. At least I'll try my best to do that. No guarantees. Okay, thanks so much, and see you next week.